Morning, good afternoon, Facebook and YouTube. I hope everybody is super well. Brand new start of the week, Magic Monday. Yes, I was just doing a little song and dance here for my friends on Instagram because it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Yes, it is. Am I the right way around? Please say yes. So today, what have I got in store? Well, I hope you're sitting comfortably because I'm going to be doing a really lovely live chat with Dr. Seaweed. So talking all about thyroid, iodine, seaweed. If you were looking at my Instagram stories first thing, you will have seen my hard-boiled egg for brunch with a little bit of seaweed oil, and I'm a massive fan. So he's going to be joining us, beaming in live from the Outer Hebrides. I wonder what the weather's like up there. And then, big news, we had this lovely offer going with Margaret Dabbs. You may remember this time last week I did a really nice live with her. I'm going to pop some more of her hand lotion on actually right now. And she very generously gave us all 20% off her entire range, which I think is a fabulous range. And that was supposed to have ended by now. Anyway, I know there were a few issues on her website yesterday, so my team were in touch with her and they said, is there any way that we could extend it just for a few more days because it's been so popular? So you have now got until Wednesday, which I'm thrilled about because I'm loving the foot file. I know lots and lots of you have talked about her amazing foot file, and I just think that every Christmas stocking needs to have one of these. So if you're going to go on to her website, please don't buy all the foot files because I'm going to be going on a little bit later and using my discount code as well. So what I love about it is it's just indestructible. It's going to last forever. Really high quality stainless steel. And then it comes with these replacement pads. So it stays forever. Brilliant. How clever is that? Anyway, I've been using mine, absolutely love it. And I know there are certain key members of my family that will love it too. And I love things that slot neatly into stockings, or rather I should say Father Christmas and his elves, for all the children watching, love it when they find things that they can pop into stockings. Anyway, I'm a real fan. I've been using this one too, the Firming Leg Serum. I think that's really good. I like this one very much, which is the hand cleaning gel. If you're out and about, as hopefully we will all soon be, you can just spritz it, on your hands and it just cleans your hands. You don't need to have any running water, which is really good. So thank you very much to Margaret and team. We heart you for that. We're very, very grateful. So thank you. So Liz Loves, all in capitals, on Margaret Dabbs. I think it's .com. Anyway, there is a link on Instagram in my little bio. If you click the little blue Linktree link, as always, all the links will pop up there. Say a big hi this morning to Betty. Betty, my digital editor, is manning Facebook today. So hi, Betty. How are you? I hope you're well. I hope you had a lovely weekend. So Betty is going to be popping all the links to everything that I talk about, hopefully, if I don't catch her out, on Facebook. So the two are interchangeable, and don't forget, should the disaster happen and one of my platforms go down, you can always hop onto the other one. And then at the end of all this, I do upload everything onto YouTube. And thank you very much for all your questions on YouTube. So many new subscribers there, which is great because we do have new and exclusive content on YouTube. So it's really worth subscribing to Earle Wellbeing YouTube channel. I have picked up some questions and comments that have come in on YouTube, so I will be answering those towards the end. But now, let's see if we can get Craig, Dr. Seaweed, live in the house. I'm sorry, Facebook and YouTube, you won't see him, but hopefully you will hear him. And I have lots of his lovely things in front of me to show you. So, Dr. Seaweed. It says unable to join. How rude. Why would that be? Let's try again. Send a request. Okay. Right, yes, I know, Dave and Jan. The Margaret Dabbs code wasn't working yesterday, so which in a way was a blessing in disguise because it meant that we could extend it. So we spoke to their team this morning and they said, oh, really sorry about that. Should we run it for a few more days? And we went, yes. So good morning or good afternoon, Dr. Seaweed.
Hello, how are you?
I am so well, thank you. How are you? Where are you beaming in from today?
Well, I'm not allowed to the Outer Hebrides because of current restrictions. So I'm in Whitley Bay. So still very literally 200 metres from the sea. So we've got the sea theme going, which is good.
And
smell the sea.
Now, I have podcasted with you before, talking all about the benefits of seaweed, which I have to say I'm a massive fan of for so many reasons. I mean, seaweed, as you explained to me, is probably the only bit of truly sustainable farming, wild farming, that we have. So tell me about your journey with seaweed and what makes it so fascinating for you.
No, absolutely, and that's great to hear. Now, my background is a marine biologist, so we're a genuine doctor, not a medical doctor, but a marine biology doctor. So I guess my journey was really, having done marine biology and a PhD and spending a long time at university, was trying to find ways to take all the amazing things the sea can give us and do it in a sustainable way, and offer it to people in ways they can really engage with and benefit from and love. And seaweed just ticks every box because it's in abundance, it's massively underutilized.
Yeah.
We say it's a forgotten food because actually, sort of pre-industrial revolution, we used to use it for everything. It would get added to the land for fertilizer, you'd feed it to animals, we'd eat it ourselves.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I'm a regenerative farmer, and absolutely, using these natural materials, it's so nutritious. Really good for animals, really good for naturally fertilizing the land. That's really interesting.
Definitely. And that translates into our own nutrition. So the reason it's so good for the land is because actually seaweed's got everything in it, all the minerals, all the trace elements, all the vitamins. They're not necessarily all at high enough levels to just live on seaweed, so I wouldn't advocate that. You need a balanced diet. But everything's in there. It's not, more sort of industrial farming is nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, and that's it. Whereas the seaweed offers a whole spectrum and a whole range, and that, like I say, translates your own health.
So seaweed, if we're eating seaweed or having seaweed supplements and all that kind of thing, is that giving us then iron and vitamin B12 and selenium and, obviously iodine, which we'll come on and talk about? Is it giving us that whole range?
So it's all present. So this is our sort of pure seaweed supplement. So in these is nothing.
Oh, I think I've got that.
100% seaweed.
Let me show me, because I've got this beautiful box that I've arrived. I'm so excited when a box arrives, full of lovely things that we can talk about today, including those little recipe cards for how to use your oils, which I'd love to talk about. So yes, I have this box. So it says on it, organic Scottish seaweed. We do have a Liz Loves code, by the way, so don't panic. Natural iodine source. So
absolutely. So as you say, everything is in there. The selenium, the iron. They're not necessarily high enough that you just don't need other sources. But the key thing, as you mentioned, is the iodine. The iodine is, and actually importantly, the iodine is deficient in the UK diet, particularly with women. So different statistics. So up to 76% of adolescent girls, up to 66% of adult women have got a diet that's insufficient.
So why is that? Why are we lacking in iodine? Where would we have got it from, perhaps in the past, and we're not getting it now?
So traditionally in the UK, the main source is dairy. And as we eat less dairy and more people are on plant-based milks, which is fine for all sorts of reasons, but they don't have any natural iodine in them. And then the other one is fish, but particularly white fish. And again, we tend to eat now more oily fish, which again is great for your health, but it's lower in iodine than the white fish.
That's so fascinating. I remember listening to a Radio 4 programme, gosh, it must be at least a year or two ago, and it was a professor talking about the importance of iodine for women and girls, but also talking about specifically important during pregnancy and the birth defects that can occur if you're not taking sufficient iodine. I mean, it was really staggering, actually, and she was really concerned, actually, about the number of sort of, solely plant-based eaters who weren't getting their iodine, and actually what would happen, during pregnancy and beyond.
Well, and there was just a study out last week from Germany looking at plant-based or vegans because it's dairy and fish. The issues around B12 is still apparent in vegans because that's also tends to be fish, meat, dairy. But vegans are aware of it, so they'll take a supplement. But iodine they're not aware of, and actually across the society we're not really aware. And it's an essential nutrient. You have to get it in your diet.
Actually, that's really interesting. I was sent a book to review by somebody who shall remain nameless. But it was very much about, being totally plant-based. And I flicked through it because I was thinking maybe they could be a good podcast guest because, I love eating lots of plants. Don't get me wrong. That's, totally where I'm coming from. But there was not a single mention of iodine in the book. There was talk about omega-3s from algae and, you know, topping up your B12 and making sure you get your choline and all of this. Not a reference to iodine. I thought, whoa, that is so dangerous, because iodine is something that we don't really talk about. But tell us what it does in the body. Why do we need it?
So essentially, like I say, it's an essential nutrient. You have to get it from your diet. You can't synthesize it. And as you've got, every book comes with these leaflets, information leaflets. So there's loads of details there. But it's your thyroid, which is the gland that produces thyroid hormones.
So that's about here, isn't it? Is that your thyroid?
Yeah, it's sort of in your neck. Yeah. Exactly, and it produces T3 and T4, and the 3 and 4 relate to the amount of iodine molecules that are attached to the hormone. So if you don't have enough iodine, you can't produce enough of these hormones, and those hormones, part of your endocrine system, they impact loads of stuff: your cognitive health, your metabolism, your nervous system. Development in children, like you said, is critical, and that's why it links through to fetal development and pregnancy. So when you look at the thyroid, and if you look at underactive thyroid, so that means you're not potentially not getting enough iodine, your thyroid won't work as well. And even if you go to the NHS website to get sort of independent view, when people look at the symptoms, sometimes think actually, and then look at the diet, they think actually that could be me. So it's things like struggling to lose weight or putting on weight quickly because your metabolism isn't working as well as it should. Tiredness and fatigue, sensitivity to cold, brittle hair and nails, loss of libido, heavy periods. There's a whole range because it has such a massive effect on your health.
I need to check out my younger daughter, because she does not have very much dairy, and she really feels the cold. I mean, even on a hot day, she'll be, you know, sitting with a sweater and a wrap. That's really interesting. Can we have iodine tests? Can we get a blood test, or is it just something that you actually, if you just start to supplement with it, you should feel different?
They can test your urine to see how much you're producing. So they'll look at what you eat and then how much comes out in your urine. Okay. Blood tests generally are looking at thyroid levels, so it's not as clear cut as. So it's really looking at your diet, and if you get enough dairy or you get enough fish, great, and white fish, but the results naturally show that we're just not. It affects women more than men. So the idea is one a day, and it's just so easy, you know, with your breakfast or whatever.
And also, you know, talking about farming, you know, because we're over-intensifying our farming, we're depleting all the nutrients. And, you know, just as we are what we eat, so the benefits of our plants and our crops are what our crops eat, i.e. what they take up through the roots, the nutrients. So if they're grown in nutrient-deficient soil, which is why I'm such a fan of regenerative agriculture and organic farming and all of that, because the soil is more nutritious. So it will have more traces of iodine in it, which presumably we're just losing now. So we're not getting it naturally in our diet from so many sources.
No, absolutely. So that's why seaweed is the only plant-based source, because it used to be, like you said, that you would get it in other crops because it was in the topsoil and it would come through, but it's been depleted. So there were studies looking at using seaweed to fertilise soil to grow potatoes, and it does the iodine then transfer to the potatoes. So it's, you know, it's such an important issue, and as you mentioned, like the example of the book before, people aren't really as aware of it as they should, but it is growing, and there's studies showing that thyroid health and underactive thyroid is massively underdiagnosed, in the UK.
Now let's talk about that, because I'm picking up some questions here on Instagram about underactive thyroid and overactive thyroid, and many people seem to be taking thyroid medication. Is this a good idea to take if you're on some kind of thyroid medication?
So we obviously have to be careful because we don't know everyone's personal medical conditions, and I'm a marine biologist, not a medical doctor, much as people often show me rashes and stuff when they hear I'm a doctor. I don't want to think. But essentially, always say this is just a food. In each capsule, there is nothing but seaweed. There's no additives, no bulking agents, no burning agents.
So it's just like eating some seaweed in your diet?
Yeah, exactly. And also one capsule, so we say 1 to 2 a day, but one capsule is the equivalent iodine level of a portion of haddock. So if you're on your thyroxine, you wouldn't be thinking, well, I better not eat much haddock.
No, exactly. Your doctor wouldn't be saying, stop eating, you know, your haddock and chips or whatever, you know. So that's a really, really good way of looking at it. And I think, you know, for my community here who know that I do talk about very specific supplements, I'm not a fan of just taking everything, but there are certain things that I really do believe in and think are valuable. And to get them from natural food sources. So you're not just isolating a synthetic compound and shoving it in a pill. You know, you're getting the whole thing. So presumably along with the iodine, you're getting all the other little trace bits that help support the absorption and the bioavailability in the body.
And that's part of the argument. You know, this is, so just to explain that this is harvested from the sea, so it's from the wild, all in the Outer Hebrides in Scotland, so pristine, stunning,
I'm
beautiful
so
water.
desperate to come.
You need to go.
Oh
It's
my
beautiful.
goodness, honestly, when the weather improves, and we're obviously allowed to, I am...
Wait till spring.
Yeah.
It's a bit dark and cold currently, but you know, so it's all from those beautiful, pristine waters, which is important because seaweed will take up heavy metals and radiation. Whatever's in the water, it'll take up, so it has to be clean water. And all we're doing is drying it and milling it to a powder and putting it in a capsule. That's it. Like I said, there's no...
There's a question here on Facebook from Victoria. It says, what time of day is best to take it? Should it be taken just before food or on an empty stomach or with food?
We sort of generally say with breakfast. It doesn't really matter, it's your preference, but there's a lot of research we do with Newcastle University Medical School on the benefits of other things in the seaweed, which is called polyphenols, in helping manage blood sugar release. So it's that fuller for longer.
I like that. Feel fuller for longer. That's exactly what we want.
Yeah. So these are great because, like, me and my wife, they're in the coffee mugs in the morning. So you take it out, you pop out a capsule, and you take it with your breakfast, and you're done. So it's all about convenience. But to answer your question on the whole food, you know, that it is just a whole food. So all the other nutrients are there that potentially do help that absorption. And again, the leaflets that are in each box have got some of the research on. We did with Glasgow University, which was looking at comparing this natural source to an artificial source of iodine, which is called potassium iodide. So if you were to buy a multi-mineral multivitamin, that'll have potassium iodide in. So it will absorb, but what the research shows is you excrete it very quickly in your urine or your sweat. And the reason is that because this is in a food, it breaks down more slowly, so you release it more over time instead of quickly absorbing and quickly excreting. So it stays in the body for longer.
Well, so basically, this is a great little leaflet, by the way. I love this, really well designed. And it says here, so the iodine that's here is contributing to energy-yielding metabolism, so really good for burning up fat faster. Thyroid health, which we've talked about. Cognitive function, so keeping us mentally alert. Maintenance of skin, very useful. Growth of children, which we've talked about. And functioning nervous system, so keeping us potentially less stressed and less anxious. Couple of questions for you. Growth of children, what age could you be giving this to every day?
So, I mean, the beauty of the capsules, they're just open and you just empty them into a smoothie or spaghetti bolognese, whatever you want.
Oh, like that idea.
My kids, if I give it to my kids, there's no way they'll swallow that capsule.
Yeah, my youngest
the seaweed on its own is very seaweedy. So putting it into a sauce or a soup, it just disappears. So you can add, even if you just want to do half a capsule per child, and just put it into a sauce or a smoothie, and they won't even notice.
Do you know, I think that's so interesting because there are lots of questions coming, about, who should be taking it and when. I think the key message here, which is something that I'm just kind of grasping, is this is essentially food. Okay, so it's not going to have any contraindications with anything else. It's just going to give you a good level of natural iodine, like, as you say, you're eating a portion of haddock, only much easier and much cheaper, with all the little trace elements around it, in an incredibly clean and sustainable way. I love the fact that your seaweed is wild harvested from some of the cleanest waters in the world, and you literally just grind it up and pop it in a capsule. I mean, that's it, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. When you come to the factory, you can see.
I'm so going to come. Oh my goodness, I'm going to bring my family with me. We're all going to come. I'll come and do it live.
It's beautiful. So, and it's exactly it. And the whole ethos spreads throughout all our products. So the brand is Dr. Seaweed's Weed and Wonderful. And the Weed and Wonderful is really just a play on words to say the seaweed isn't weird, it's wonderful. Because when we developed the brand, it was, everyone knows what seaweed is.
Yeah.
They just don't necessarily want to put it in the mouths because it's still something that we think of as weird. Beyond sushi, People are like, oh, it's seaweed, it's a bit stinky, they see it on the beach, and that's not what we're asking people to eat.
No.
So we've got the oils, which
yes.
They're an infusion of the same seaweed that's in the capsules is then infused with an organic cold pressed rapeseed oil.
You can see if I shape it there. Now this is where we get the special deal, and I have to look and see how long this is lasting for. But at the moment, and this is a brand new launch, isn't it? This is a genuine launch.
It's this other product. So this
okay. So tell me about this one, because I know that, just to say, with Liz Loves, which is your code, all in capitals, you're going to give us all a free bottle of this. You get this free, worth £9 or so. When you buy that one?
Either of the two supplements.
Either of them. Okay. So talk us through the difference. So this one I've talked about, which is Weed and Wonderful Organic Scottish Seaweed. So what's the one that you've got there?
So this is brand new, so it is properly, genuinely exclusive to Liz and Liz Loves. Because
we've got a global exclusive launch. How exciting!
Genuinely exclusive. So what is in this is, because of obviously the current issues with COVID-19, etc. This is the exact same seaweed. Yeah. So it's the same amount of seaweed in the capsule, plus an organic B12 and D3, vitamins B12 and vitamins D3. Oh, nice. So all the ones that we're hearing about. So what sort of level of D3 are you using in that? So the D3, there's 200% of your RDA of D3. Great. And there's 100% of your B12. So all of the claims that you read out before on the iodine, around thyroid, etc., we'll only make claims around what we're allowed to by law. Okay. So by having the B12 and the D3 in there, would allow them, because it genuinely supports your immune health. Yeah. Which obviously is very important. And vitamin D is all over the news, so everyone should be aware. Yeah. And importantly, we've chosen D3. Yes. Because D3 is, even though this is plant-based, it's more commonly associated with animal sources. Yeah. And it's thought to be more bioavailable than the D2. Absolutely. Couple of questions coming in there about D3, about overdosing on D3, because I know a lot of people already take it. So if you're already taking high-strength D3, then probably best to go with the blue packet. Yeah, would you say? Yeah, it could be. Yes, definitely. If you're happy with what you're getting. If you're happy with what you're getting, exactly. And if you are looking for something that has got your D3 and your B12, I have to say, though, interestingly, I have been researching D3 for a specific podcast, which will come up soon. I'm actually taking much higher doses of D3. I'm taking probably 5,000 or 6,000 international units, or 5,000 or 6,000 times the daily amount, because I need a bit more. And also looking at the toxicity, there's very little evidence of any toxicity up to about 10,000 international units. I think that's right. What's your view on that? How much would you say you could safely take? I think, as you say, I think the upper limit's very, very high. But it's about efficacy. So you obviously, vitamin C is really well understood, but that's water soluble. So you can take loads and loads and loads, and it will just pass through you what you don't need. So there is an element where you'll take more than you need. But this time of year, we do need more vitamin D in our diet, because you get it from the two ways we get it is sunlight and food, basically. Yeah. And we're all inside more anyway, because we're not allowed to go out as much. Yep, as we and the sun's not shining, even when we are out. So. And the sun's definitely not shining, especially in the outer Hebrides. And then you've got, as you start to get older, your ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight declines. So as people get older, they should consider taking more. Yep. So and again, it's linked to diet. So if you're on a plant-based diet, iodine, B12 and D3 are all the challenge. Really important. Yeah, naturally. So I think it's one of those things, isn't it? You've got to be guided by your own individual circumstance. If you're somebody who's not getting much sunlight, who doesn't eat much in the way of animal produce, you're not getting your D3, you are older, you are, some of the implications of vitamin D3 can be low mood and depression. And I'm going to be talking about vitamin D later this month, actually. Well, actually, it'll be probably more into December.
So I think, for all those reasons, I think, be guided, but great to have the choice there so that we can get our seaweed,
Absolutely.
food supplement in, one way or another, with or without. So for
Absolutely.
either pack, if you use the Liz Loves code and you get either of those,
Yeah.
whichever you choose, you send
Yeah.
with it a full size, is that right? Full size bottle of this.
Yeah, this whole bottle and a beautiful recipe card.
Now tell us
Your
how,
ideas
tell us
and
how to
inspiration.
use this, because I use this. I drizzle it on my eggs, and I pop it into. Particularly I find it works really well with eggs. And what else do I use it for? I use it actually if I'm frying up onions, or anywhere where I need to use a cooking oil. I am using it. What do you particularly rate this for cooking?
So the great thing with seaweed is that it's got this umami effect that you may have heard of, and
Yeah.
it's about flavour enhancement. So this does have a very mild sort of seaweed like flavour of the sea, but it enhances flavour as well. So and it's a really nice cold pressed rapeseed oil
Lovely.
that it's infused in.
So that's a bit like
just
using a
drizzling on
natural.
top
Sorry to interrupt you. It's a bit like using sort of natural monosodium glutamate, like an MSG that they use as a flavour enhancer. But obviously, that some people can be very sensitive to that. Is it like using a natural version of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the seaweed's naturally high in glutamate, and monosodium glutamate is a sort of manufactured form of glutamate. And you get it in cheeses and tomatoes and other things that can enhance flavour. But yeah, so this you can use it just cold, drizzled over salad, roasting vegetables, cooking eggs. Obviously with fish it works well because you've got those sort of sea flavours going together well.
I like it on baked
It's just
potatoes
a really
too, actually.
clean flavour. Say that again, sorry?
I like it on baked potatoes.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's
Transforms.
lovely. We do have as well the smoked oil, which is available as well. And that's the same seaweed infused oil, but the seaweed is smoked and the oil's slightly smoked. So it almost gives like a mild smoked salmon sort of flavour. But again, really clean, nice, fresh flavours. So look, whether it's the supplements or the oils, it's just about helping people get seaweed into the diet and their lives to benefit from it, whether it's flavour or nutrition.
Fantastic. Craig, it's such a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for giving us your worldwide global exclusive. We are really thrilled with that. Thank you. And we'll pop all the details up on the links, of course. And do head over. Remind us your website address.
Yeah, sure. So it's weedandwonderful.co.uk. And obviously the Liz Loves code will work at checkout. So I would say either of the supplements.
Yeah.
For any box of supplements you buy, you'll get a free bottle of oil. So even if you buy both boxes, you can get 2 oils.
You get 2
included.
oils if you buy both boxes. Oh, how cool is that?
That's just the way the website works. So any box of oils, you get free oil. Any box of supplements, you get a free oil.
That's amazing. What fantastic presents. And oh my goodness, your website's just going to be hot. I hope you can handle it.
We've got people packing and ready and waiting. So
Great. All up in the Outer Hebrides. Oh, I'm just so longing to come and see you. And it's just so lovely to have things on here that are so helpful for literally everybody. It's not exclusive. You don't have to be one way or the other. Everybody can benefit and enjoy. So that's what I really try and do, is just find things that everybody will love. So thank you. Oh, somebody said that they've just tried to order and the code's not working. I'm sure it is because we tested it earlier. So it's Liz Loves, all in capitals, okay, and all one word. Okay, and we did check it.
Yeah.
So,
We
fantastic.
checked it about 50 times.
You checked it 50 times.
And I just see a question popped up about allergies I've seen. So just importantly, these are allergen free. So you don't have to worry if you've got fish or crustacea allergies. We test every batch, not just for iodine, but for like fish, crustacea.
Interesting.
So those you don't need to worry about.
Oh, okay. So do go and check the website because as somebody else said code not working. So I'm sure by the end of this broadcast that we will fix it. No, it says not working. Craig, go sort it out.
Don't worry, they're watching. They'll fix it fast.
I'm sure we will sort it. And thank you.
Unless it's crashing, I don't know.
Oh, maybe it could be. Oh my goodness, there are too many. Stop buying.
don't ever say that.
No, I know. Come back later. Pause. Just take a
we'll
moment,
take that,
breathe,
sure,
have a nice cup of tea. It's lovely to chat with you. Thank you so much. Wish you huge luck with with your team and your lovely brand. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Gosh, wasn't that interesting? Do you know, I learn something all the time when I invite these lovely experts on. I think I know a bit, and then they continue just to blow me away with what they can talk about. And who knew? You know, who knew all of that? Anyway, it is, as I said before, beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Yes, it is. And my team and I have been working so hard. They're like little elves. Honestly, we're going to have to do a team picture, I think, wearing like pixie hats. And what we thought we would do is we worked out that we've got essentially kind of 4 weeks in the run up to Christmas now, where particularly if you're buying things online, and we're going to really highlight and showcase the smaller founder-led brand, the British brands, you know, try and buy small, shop local, that kind of thing, you know, try and keep it to support those brands who've been so badly affected during the whole lockdown this year. So what we thought we'd do, we thought we would essentially do a 12 days of Christmas for Liz Loves. Yes. So because I do 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that means that I've got basically 4 weeks starting from now, starting from today, to every time I do a Liz Loves, I will just drop in a little thing as part of the 12 days of Christmas. Does that sound fun? Where is my top from? Okay, this is a lovely one from my friend, Carol McEwen, who is on Instagram, okay? Carol McEwen1 is her Instagram. You have to get on her list. She doesn't have a website or anything. She hand makes all of these in London. It's all ethical, sustainable. Love it. So thank you, Carol, if you're watching. I love this. Really love it. So, day 1 for the 12 days of Christmas. I feel like I ought to have a kind of Christmassy jingle or something. I'm going to have to find something, aren't I? Or maybe some bells. So you guys know that I love the Salcombe Dairy chocolate. Yes, what's inside the box? Something really special. So Salcombe Dairy first came onto my radar actually at Easter when we were beginning the first lockdown, and we couldn't get out to buy our Easter eggs. And they did a really massive favour for us. They just worked night and day, literally, to catch the last posting date for Easter. So we thought that to say thank you, we would give them the very first slot for the Liz Loves 12 Days of Christmas. And there's also another reason why you're going to have to rush to get this if you want it. I'm just checking what the offer is. Basically 10% off, and that's everything up until Christmas. But for this, you will need to order it by Thursday. Why? Because inside this lovely box, lovely gift box actually, which you can keep, we have 2 fabulous chocolate advent calendars. Really classy. Now they make all their own chocolates, so they are basically all handmade down in Cornwall. So they use bean to bar, so they get the coffee beans, the cocoa beans rather, and they're making handmade, beautiful, delicious chocolates. All of those who've enjoyed your chocolates, I know. Oh, here we go. Hi Liz, happy Advent from the Salcombe Dairy team. Well, thank you. I hope you guys are watching. So this one I absolutely love. Look at that. Really, really nice. Now, I've got special messages about this. In fact, it was lovely Lucia from Salcombe Dairy who sent me these notes because I think they're really important. And it's partly about why these are so different. So, just to show you, sorry if you missed it, this one I love. So this would be a really nice boy one, don't you think? Not that we're sexist here or you know, gender whatever. And there's obviously a stand at the back so you can stand it up. So that's the Salcombe Dairy one with the sailing ship, and then this one is the Christmas tree with all the Salcombe themed little decorations. Oh, I'm going to have to open it. Do you think I should open it? Is it unlucky to open the advent calendar before the first day? What do you think? Let me try. Where's number 1? You can never find them, can you? I can see, oh, here we go, here's number 1. Oh, it's next to a little crab, can you see? Really cute little crab on the Christmas tree here. Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll be really good. I'll open it and I'll show you what's in there, but I won't eat it. How restrained is that? I can't believe I'm saying that. Right. Oh, actually, I think Do you know what? I think somebody was here before me mentioning no names. Right, I'm going to open this one just above it, 19. Okay, and in here, oh look! Look at that, it looks like a little chocolate cocoa pod. Oh, that smells good. Real chocolate, real chocolate. So, right, let me read you what it says about the chocolates and about the advent calendars, because there's some really interesting points about this. So, there we go. She says, so the Yule calendar, not Yule, but Yule. Okay, we learn something every day. Y-A-W-L, Yule. I think that's this type of boat. I've just noticed actually that the sailing boat, it'll come out backwards on the screen, but it says Yule up there. So it says, and 2512 on the mast, not the mast, on the mainsail. Isn't that good? Right, so this is a wooden sailing boat only hand-built in Salcombe. Who knew that? That's a wooden sailing boat that they build down there. Isn't that amazing? So this contains a veritable voyage tasting of 8 bean to bar flavours. So behind every door you get a little chocolate, and there are 8 different flavours. So the Salcombe tree calendar, which is this one, and again this has a little educational message behind it, because it says this is filled with milk and white bean to bar chocolate, so maybe better for kids or for those who like sweeter chocolate. And it has a challenge for kids to see what's spelt out in the flags, because did you know that each nautical pennant, or the flag, represents a letter of the alphabet? I have to say, I did not know that. So we have, oh, and it gives you a little crib sheet on the back with all the letters of the flags. Actually, that's true, isn't it? Because was it, I mean, I should know this because my father was naval. When Nelson spelt out his flags, wasn't it, England expects every man to do his duty, and it was spelt out with flags. Anyhow, so this says, so it's a challenge to work out what is spelt in the flags. I'm going to have to get my lot working on that. And also to find the Salcombe Dairy Fairy. Don't you love that, the Dairy Fairy, hidden in the tree. Where's the Dairy Fairy? Can't see her at first glance. Okay, I have to have a look at that. So the Salcombe Dairy Fairy appears when good deeds are needed. She recently donated a freezer to our local food bank. Oh, bless you, Salcombe Dairy Fairy. Now, this is the bit that interests me. Both calendars are fully compostable. There's no nasty plastic tray. Think how many of those calendars full of the little chocolates, they've all got plastic trays in them, haven't they? Where's that going to go? Yeah? Into the ocean, basically, to be ground up and turned into microplastics. And they are entirely printed and packed in South Devon. Isn't that great? All the chocolate is nut-free, gluten-free, soya-free and palm oil-free, but not taste-free. They are yummy. Well, that is just great. Love it, love it, love it. So she says, so Lucia says, I think we've got enough gorgeous white gift boxes to cope with demand, and they seem to protect the calendars well in the post. Really important. So yes, so you get your dairy thing here in the lovely box. What an amazing gift. Love that. Absolutely love that. And of course, whoops, that's not the lid, that's the lid. You get your 10% off with Liz Loves. So if you want one of these by the 1st of December, the last posting date is Thursday. So that's why we're kicking off the 12 days of Christmas here at Liz Loves with this one. But thank you, team down in Salcombe, because very generously they are extending their 10% discount right up until Christmas. So you can either take your chances and order it later on if you want, or if you want to hop on and order other things for Christmas, then you can enjoy that discount right the way up to Christmas. So thank you. We love you and we love that, and the chocolate is delicious. Every member of my family loves it, and I know a couple of people who've got their beady eyes on those calendars. Okay, so the other thing that we are doing, which is really exciting, is many of you loved Dr. Lip. Now this is a beauty brand. I've used it for absolutely years. This was their original. It's lanolin. So it is really a very, very good emollient. I use it on chapped skin, I use it on my lips, I use it on cuticles, all over, and it's just Really, really good. I was actually first introduced this by the wonderful professional makeup artist Kerry September, who always has it in her kit, because it's kind of like the first thing when you're sitting in her makeup chair with a completely naked face. The first thing she'll do is she'll put that on to get your lips prepped and ready for a bit of lipstick or a bit of lip gloss later. And sometimes she'll actually just leave it, and that's all she uses. So I've long loved them, and we had a Liz Loves probably a few months ago now, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, because it was launching this little set, which is just genius, because you think about what we put on our lips. What are we doing? Of course, we lick our lips, you know, we eat what's on our lips. So it's really important to make extra sure that you're quite happy with what you put on your lips, because you're going to be eating it and ingesting it. So what they've done is they've created 3 natural lip tints. So they're using the natural lanolin, which is considered so safe it's used as a nipple cream. So basically, you know, newborn babies can eat it, you know, they can ingest it, it's not going to be an issue. So that's how safe it is. And what they've done here is they've used different plant pigments. So it's basically vegetable extracts with the lanolin. Isn't that clever? So you've got red radish, sweet potato pigment. This is one that I'm using at the moment. This is mine from my makeup bag, which is a sort of natural pinky shade. And then elderberry, which is a really sort of dark, kind of sexy burgundy colour. And red radish, which is more sort of corally. So we now have, I think when we first launched this, they gave us 10% off, which was amazing. We've now got, for a limited time, 25% off. Isn't that amazing? 25% off with your Liz Loves code. And these little ones, I mean, you could get them and split them up, or you could just have them. I mean, a great, great gift. Look, these are the 3 colours. Aren't they fun? So, whoops, drop it on the floor. So these are your 3 colours. So I'll show you. So this is the one, this is the kind of corally one. This is red radish. So that is this sort of colour. Can you see? That's red radish, deliciously glossy. So that's kind of quite corally. This one is sweet potato. You can buy them separately, or you can get them as a pack together. So this is one that I'm wearing, and you can see, actually I have to use quite a little bit because they're quite sheer. Can you see on that there? Quite sheer, which I quite like if you want a kind of a made up, not made up look. And then the other one, which is a bit more dramatic, a bit more glam, is the elderberry. So if you like a really strong or stronger lip, but also want to condition your lips at the same time. Whoops, the first bit of that is actually lanolin. Let me just wipe that off. There we go. So yeah, so that's this one. I'll pop that over here. Yeah, can you see? So that's the 3rd colour. Amazing. Really, really good. So let me just check I've got this right. Yes, it is. I got it right. 25% off with Liz Loves, all in capitals. So it's kind of thinking about, you know, Black Friday, I guess, and all those offers that are going to be coming up. But that's live from the 23rd of November. That's today. Good. 23rd of November, just until the 2nd of December. Okay, so there's only a shorter window for that because it is so generous. 25%. Great, job done. I'm going to put mine back in my little box. So I've got elderberry, the corally one, which is red radish, and then my daily one that I'm using every day now, which is sweet potato. Love it, absolutely love it. And it's so tiny wee, you know, you can just pop it in your bag if you're going out for walks and you find you get really dry chapped lips. You don't need a mirror or anything like that because you can just pop it on, hint of a tint, and know that you're nourishing your lips at the same time. Right, that is just about it for today. So let me have a look at a few messages that have come in. Oh yes, Christmas, what am I going to do about Christmas? So just to say, Christmas cards. Okay, yes. For those of you who missed it, these are my charity Christmas cards. So this is my charity, Live Twice, livetwice.org. And we drew a little heart-shaped dove. Can you see how his wings are a heart? And it says peace on earth. And he's got his little mistletoe in his mouth. So these are the cards. They're quite simple, quite stylish. But I think if people have got a bit more time, you know, to be writing cards, let's get them out there now with actually proper handwritten rather than an e-card. You might want to send somebody something special. So these have got the gold lettering on. And it just says, wishing you peace and joy at Christmas. And then there's a little verse here from Luke, biblical verse. It says, and the angel said to them, fear not, For behold, I give you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. That's what we want, isn't it? No fear and plenty of joy. And then it just tells you a little bit about my charity on the back. Anyway, so what I thought we'd do, I'm afraid my charity, you know, we run it on a shoestring. We're not kind of a big organisation, and I'm not entirely sure how to do special offers on the website. So what I've just said is, look, anybody who orders 4 packs of cards, we'll just pop an extra pack in free. Okay, so they come in packs of 6. So if you order 4 packs, then we'll just pop an extra one in. It won't say that on the website, I'm afraid, because it's not that kind of all bells and dancing and stuff. Anyway, but you will get the extra pack if you order 4 of them. Okay, it's livetwice.org. Yes, livetwice.org.uk. Can't remember. Oh dear, so much to remember in my head. Anyway, there'll be a link. There'll be a link on my Instagram link tree, and a link, obviously, Betty, you'll kindly do it on Facebook. Talking about Christmas, this is the Christmas download. Many of you will have got this already. It's a healthy, happy Christmas. I wrote it for my girls originally because I wanted to pass on a lot of my own family Christmas traditions. I love Christmas, by the way. And what I'm going to be doing on Friday is, I've just printed this out so you can see, I'm going to be making this traditional family Christmas cake, okay? So it's actually Lala's Christmas cake, and this was my former grandmother-in-law's recipe. So it's been handed down through the family, and this is something that I've been making pretty much every year for the last 20 years or so. So I really wanted to share it with everybody. If you've got this, do take a look, because it's worth soaking the fruit beforehand. I try and soak it for at least 24 hours beforehand. So I'll be making it on Friday. So if you've got the recipe, maybe start thinking about getting the ingredients together and maybe soaking your fruit on the Thursday or even the Wednesday and just keeping it somewhere cool. And then that just means that it will absorb more of the lovely liquid and just be softer and plumper. And yeah, you can soak it. I actually soak mine in Earl Grey tea, black tea, maybe with a splash of something alcoholic, but it just depends what you fancy, really. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing on Friday. So lots and lots in here, lots of botanical homemade decorations to make, lots of Christmas things to get ahead with, lots of, you know, all classic recipes like gifts that you can give. There's my version of Nutella, which, you know, obviously made without palm oil, which is a really nice present. Chocolate truffles, lots of mulled wine, foliage, how to make wreaths, doing things ahead of time. So things like getting things like bread sauce made. I make mine with sourdough bread, so it's more easily digestible, all that stuff. Anyway, there'll be plenty of time to talk about that, but just to give you a little bit of advance warning. Right. Just to say here, okay, so this is what you need to do if you're ordering from Weed and Wonderful. Had a message here from the lovely Betty who says you need to add the pure oil to the cart before they add to the cart, and it works great. So basically, if you add a box of any supplement, so that was either the blue one here or the green one that's got the vitamin D3 in it. Okay, so you put that in your cart and the pure oil. So it's a bit like the one that we did with Josh Woods, okay? So you have to actually add your pure oil, which is that one, all right? So add that into the cart. And then if you put your Liz Loves code in capitals, magic, the price of this disappears. Like the magic Liz Loves fairy. Salcombe Dairy Fairy or Liz Loves Fairy. So the magic fairy will basically make that disappear. And I didn't realise actually how generous they were being, that if you ordered 2 or 3 packs, you get 2 or 3 bottles of oil. Isn't that amazing? And these are about £9. They're full size. Lovely, lovely gifts. Pop a little ribbon around that. Gorgeous. Or keep yourself, obviously. So I hope that explains it. Okay. So, right, Salcombe Dairy, there seems to be a problem. Loading the pick. Your own selection to the cart, it won't add it. Right, okay. So, Salcombe Dairy, it should just be Liz Loves as the offer code, all right? If you want to direct message Salcombe Dairy on Instagram or Facebook. Oh, Amanda, you've just done it, it works. Excellent. Very good, lots of thumbs up. Hopefully they will get it to work. So, excuse us for Monday morning teethings. Shows it's all live, doesn't it? Right, a couple of quick questions before I head off. Oh, this was from Linda on Facebook. I've just received Margaret's foot file. It's amazing. My feet are transformed. Isn't that incredible? I have to say, you know, I didn't ever think I could get so excited about a foot file, but it really genuinely is very, very good. So don't forget, we've extended this, or rather our lovely friends at Margaret Dabbs have extended this until Wednesday. Okay, so please don't buy them all, because I am after this going to be going onto her website to get my foot files as well. So thank you very much, Linda, for that feedback. It's always really good to know what is working for you. So this is from Johanna on YouTube. Hi, I hope you're watching this time. So, saying, love everything you share. My IG lives have kept me going. I haven't missed any. Wow, you've really enriched me and my family's lives. Thank you. Well, you are so welcome. It's just been great to be able to share all these lovely things. It's always good news here, which is nice. Right, and Sarah says on email, I'm the hugest fan of everything you're doing at Earle Wellbeing. The podcasts and the entire website are my go-to for a pickup or inspiration almost on a daily basis. Huge thanks to all the team. Thank you very much, Sarah. And it's absolutely teamwork. There is no way that I do all this by myself. I have a really, really talented, great team, all working from home and all just really committed to helping share evidence-based information and good stuff and find new ideas. So big shout out to the team. Thank you. And thank you for the feedback. We really appreciate it. Can the iodine tablets be taken during pregnancy? Well, yes, I guess so. I guess if you're eating fish, if you're having a portion of haddock during pregnancy, then yes, no reason why not. If you want to get clarification, obviously, please contact Dr. Seaweed directly. But I would say exactly from what he was saying is basically you're treating it like food. Oh, look, do you see the light coming in? Isn't that great? Really nice beam of light is just sort of illuminating everything here. A couple of quick questions here. About menopause. Okay, so this is from Anne on Instagram. Says, please can you recommend anything for thinning hair in menopause? I've got a podcast coming out very soon talking about thinning hair. We've also got quite a lot on Earle Wellbeing if you want to have a look at the website. Essentially, of course, guess what I'm going to say? It's all down to replacing estrogen. Replacement estrogen can really help with hair loss, so do take a look at that. My e-guide, The Truth About HRT, could be a useful read for you. And similarly here from Molly, oh dear, says, I'm in the thrust of menopause now. I'm 51. Started at 48, becoming post-menopause. I'm a nervous wreck though, shaking, anxiety, and it comes out of the blue. Goes away after 2 days of being a wreck and then comes back again. My doctor put me on an anti-anxiety drug, bupropion. I just took my first pill today, but I really want to go on HRT. However, she told me it only helps with hot flushes. Really? And does not want me to go on it. She feels the anxiety is not because of menopause. Oh, really? Age 51? Really? What does she think it's due to then? I have a female doctor, but she's not even 40. Has probably not gone through menopause yet. How do I persuade HRT will help? And that's from Molly on YouTube. Okay, Molly, sympathies. Right, first thing to do is if you want to continue with this doctor who clearly doesn't know about menopause and has not read the NISE, the NICE guidelines, is if you want to persevere with seeing her, alert her to the NICE guidelines. These are the National Institute for Clinical Excellence. They are drawn up for all GPs and they're basically the guidelines and recommendations that all GPs should follow, and they cover a whole range of different ailments. And there are, of course, guidelines for menopause. And if your doctor would like to read those, she will see that the first cause or the first action of treatment for anxiety and low mood around the time of menopause is HRT. Okay, also CBT, cognitive behavioural therapy, and then lastly, potentially antidepressants. But even as the NICE guidelines say, and this is all to do with the Cochrane studies and reviews, there is no evidence that antidepressants have any effect at all in alleviating perimenopausal and menopausal low mood, anxiety and depression. No evidence. So, you know, estrogen is going to top up your estrogen receptors in the brain, which is going to help with anxiety. And I've recorded a great podcast with the brilliant Dr. Rebecca Lewis all about this. So if you want to go onto my podcast or you go onto Earle Wellbeing, if you want to find that, if you want to share it. So you could send her a link if you wanted to. That's assuming you want to persevere with this doctor. And I think it's worth it, because a lot of GPs simply don't know, and therefore they're often very grateful to be pointed in the right direction of evidence-based information. So first of all, make your doctor familiar with the NICE guidelines and just ask very calmly to be treated in accordance with the NICE guidelines. That's all you're asking. It's not controversial, okay? If that doesn't happen, there are a number of steps that you can take. Obviously, you can change your doctor for somebody who might know a little bit more about prescribing. There's also very good prescribing guidelines on the Menopause Doctor website. So that's menopausedoctor.co.uk. If you just type in the word easy in the search bar, it comes up with the easy prescribing guidelines, and that's meant for healthcare professionals and GPs. So again, you can send your surgery a link, or you could print it out. You could just drop it off in an envelope and say, I'd love you to review this. Please could you take a look, and then we can talk again. If you still don't get any luck, you can ask for a written review. Okay, you can write to the senior partner at the practice. The details will be on their website, and you can ask for a formal written review as to why you're being refused and what the grounds are. And that very often will trigger information, because once a doctor has to put in writing why they are denying you your choice of treatment, and again it says very clearly in the NICE guidelines when treating menopause, it's about patient choice. And there's a very interesting ruling, Montgomery ruling, which I can talk about another time, which really talks about how GPs do have to remember that it's a patient's choice how to be treated. And what I often say on Instagram when I'm commenting on people who've had real issues, wanting just to give up because they hit a brick wall for whatever it is they're talking about, I have to say, listen, just remember, take a step back and remember, it's your body, okay, it's your life, it's your health, and it's your choice. It's often funded by your tax-paying money as well. So, for all those things, just keep going. It shouldn't have to be such a battle. And this is why myself and Lorraine Kelly and Davina McCall and others are so supportive of the Menopause charity. Do check that out. It still needs some more funding. It's crowdfunding. So it's being created by women for women. But that will provide a helpline. It'll provide funding for research and for all of this. So lots and lots going on there. Really important. If you've got a couple of quid that you could spare, do please bung it their way, because the sooner we can get that off the ground, the quicker we can get all these healthcare injustices addressed and sorted and hopefully resolved, so it becomes not a problem for the next generation, or even sooner. Hopefully we can get it sorted out sooner. I'm going to be doing a podcast actually with Dr. Louise for this Friday. There's been some really interesting health research related to COVID and estrogen, and she and I are going to be talking about that. I'm going to be recording it with her later this week, so I'm going to make sure it's really the last minute up-to-date stuff, and that will go out on Friday as part of my Friday 5. But I better stop now. I can't believe I've been kind of on air, as it were, for nearly an hour. Thank you for being with me. Big hearts. Thank you for all your lovely hearts, and I'm just so pleased that you are all enjoying all of this. So yeah, Menopause Matters, that's a really good book. Estrogen Matters is brilliant, from Avram Blooming. Lots of people you can follow on Instagram as well. But yeah, just do please sign up. You can follow the Menopause Charity as well on Instagram as well. And I'm pretty sure they'll have a Facebook site. If not right now, then pretty soon. Are you going to do another book review soon? Yes. I mean, I do. Oh, yeah, I see where you have an author on. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah, definitely. We've got so much jam-packed over these next few weeks. As I say, every day I do a live. We're going to be doing part of the 12 Days of Christmas, day 1, our lovely Advent calendars. I'm going to have to see if I can hide those now from you-know-who in the house. But thank you very much for sorting out the Weed and Wonderful discount code. Don't forget, if you want that, you click, basically, you have to add the pure Scottish seaweed oil to your cart, okay? So if you order 3 packs of seaweed capsules, put 3 bottles in your cart, and then the magic fairy will come and take that away, the cost away, and you'll get it free. Hope you love. I will be back with you live on Wednesday. Tomorrow I've got a new video going up on YouTube, a new recipe, so if you want to hop over there, you'll find me there. Otherwise, stay well, stay safe, stay happy. Don't forget to breathe. See you soon. Bye.